What happens if your case is dismissed? Your case is dismissed. That's great. But what happens? I mean, you walk out of there, right? You walk out of there a free person, but what really happens? So if you're interested in the criminal law, you want to know what happens when a case is dismissed, stay tuned because this is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear, and I've been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years. I have a law firm in Washington State, and lots of times we end up with cases dismissed. And people want to know, what does that mean? What's the effect of it? Can you still see it on my record? What's showing up on background checks, things like that. So before I jump into it, if you find this video useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. There's not a lot of information out there. So your case gets dismissed. We've had a video about getting dismissed with or without prejudice, and that's not what this video is about. So if your case is dismissed on the motion of the prosecutor or by the judge, that means that the criminal proceeding against you has been discontinued. You probably didn't have to pay any money. Sometimes you have to pay a court cost on a dismissal, and you may have jumped some hoops, but your case is dismissed. So do you get like a gold sticker, or do they give you a form saying your case is dismissed? Well, you'd be surprised. Most of the time, the court doesn't give you any proof that your case was dismissed. Most of the time, you don't even get an order that you could show someone showing your case was dismissed. It's usually handled as a docket entry, and the docket is something where the court clerk records procedurally what happens in the case. You might see him typing it in court, and it might be a docket entry showing the case was dismissed. And you don't even get a copy of that. So how can you even be sure that your case was dismissed? Well, it's a good idea to ask your attorney to get a copy of the docket so you have some proof that you can show somebody that your case was dismissed. Occasionally the court will give you, like they've got a tear-off sheet and they can circle D. Here's your form that's got D circled. I hope everyone knows what that means, right? But it's pretty underwhelming as far as the proof that you get that your case is dismissed. Now, if you're a non-citizen, right? Let's say if you got a visa issue or something like that, sometimes it could be a good idea to see if your attorney is able to write an order that the judge can sign that's more formal with a case number, saying that the case is dismissed with or without prejudice, and then try to get a copy of that for your records, because you might need that for immigration purposes, for employment purposes. But unless you ask for that specially, it doesn't mean it's just going to exist. The routine is for that document not to exist. So, secondly, when your case is dismissed, is it still going to show on my record? Well, let me tell you, that's my pet peeve when people say, is it going to show on my record? Because the way that most people think about the record isn't going to be invisible. What is your record? A record is a recording of events somewhere. But as far as your rap sheet or your criminal record, that's maintained by the Washington State Patrol as your official criminal history or your criminal record. And so if a case is dismissed, it may still appear on your criminal record as a dismissal if you were arrested. If you were arrested and fingerprinted, you could bet dollars to donuts that there's going to be a listing of the charge on your State Patrol record, and eventually it'll show dismissed. If you were never arrested, if you got served by citation and you weren't arrested and fingerprinted, if you got a complaint in the mail and you weren't arrested and fingerprinted, then it's probably not going to be there, and it will never be there if your case is dismissed. If you want to find out what's on your official criminal history, you can pay a few dollars to find out yourself. You can look on for somebody else. You can look on me if you want. All you need is a person's name, right? And you can go to well, I don't know the official website. You just look up Watch and Washington State Patrol, and maybe my video editing people here will put the actual website in where you can go find that, and we'll definitely link to it. So I don't know everything off the top of my head, though I try. It may not show up on your official criminal history, or it may. If it does show up on your official criminal history, you can later try to get that non-conviction data deleted. That's called deletion of non-conviction data. It takes 2 years after your dismissal of lawful behavior, if you otherwise qualify, to be able to delete that non-conviction data. It doesn't cost any money, and there's a form. We will link to that form in the description. That's also on the State Patrol website. But that's one way you can get that arrest record deleted if you got a clean dismissal. Well, what about other places, Lance? Is it going to show up on my record? Well, there's going to be a record of it, right? Nothing is invisible, right? Again, you could if you type my name into the internet, you'd eventually see somewhere in Wikipedia about some World Series of Poker stuff I did way back in yesteryear. And, I don't want that there, but I can't hide it. People record events, and so do private companies, right? There are private companies that make money by collecting data from courts and selling it. They're never going to delete the record they have that you were in court and you were charged with a crime. Now, you can try to see if it's accurate. If you ever get denied a job or something by a background check, you can say, what service did you use, and try to look at it. But just because your case is dismissed doesn't mean it's going to be invisible. At the same time, I don't want you to worry about that too much. Again, I've got 20 plus years of being a defense attorney, and I can honestly say I've never seen a dismissed case screw someone up yet. It's more about fear, it's more about assumptions, it's more about anxiety than reality. A dismissed case there's just like the realistic situation is that dismissed case can be inconvenient, it can be annoying, but it's usually not going to keep someone from getting a job. So that's what happens when your case is dismissed. You don't get a bunch of fanfare or an official document typically. It doesn't just make everything invisible, but it is a great thing because you're not convicted. You can answer you're never convicted, and you could finally put that stuff behind you. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. And if you've got a situation where you're trying to vacate a conviction or you have a question about dismissal, you can always give my office a call. Again, my law firm's been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years, and we handle these type of calls all the time. There are statutes about vacating convictions. There's a statute about deleting non-conviction data. Hopefully we can point you in the right direction. We can listen to what happened, and we can be there for you. Thank you.